country's former vice president told Sky News his country's government has allowed Boko Haram to thrive by failing to tackle the militant group which kidnapped hundreds of schoolgirls. Atika Abubakar spoke to our special correspondent Alex Crawford.
From day one, I have always insisted that this government needed assistance, it needed support.
Why?
Because it has shown incapacity to deal with basic, provision of security for its citizens. It's basic, that's fundamental. Without the security, there is nothing you can do. But it has failed. I don't think there is a force that is too powerful for Nigeria within to crush, except that if it is not, or if it is mismanaged, like we now have, because this is a clear case of mismanagement of a small group of bandits who have been allowed, to really grow into a monstrous, terrorist organization that we now have. I'm not one of those who believe, that the involvement of foreign troops, or particularly Americans, will further, complicate our security issues. No, I'm not one of those who believe that. But there are some academics. I have also heard the argument that the Americans have not brought peace in Iraq, they have not brought peace in Afghanistan, they have not brought peace in other places. How are we sure that they can bring peace in Nigeria?
Well, listening to that with me in the studio now is Olivier Guitta. He's the Director of Research at the Henry Jackson Society. That's a foreign policy group which promotes human rights. And we heard in that clip there that he was saying that the government in his country have really failed to get to grips with Boko Haram. Would you agree?
Yes, it's been a tough undertaking because Boko Haram has developed into a very strong terrorist group in the past few years. The problem is, foreign assistance, they need to get the intelligence on the ground because obviously Boko Haram is based in the northeast. There are complicity, they can move into other countries. Remember, the place they are, it's a porous border along of a 1,000 kilometer linked to Niger, Chad and Cameroon, so they can move in quickly.
And how strategically organised are they as a group? I mean, as you say, those links are there, but are they very organised, or is there a chance that the girls are still in the Sambisa forest, as I think many people are hopeful?
They're very organised, but at the same time, they operate in different cells, because the way they want to do it is that if you arrest a cell, then they won't know what's happening with another cell. So they're very independent in that way, but also they can move into other countries, and they have hired a lot of people, for instance, in Cameroon, that they're paying off to be part of the group.
They've been active for a long time. It hasn't necessarily had the sort of prominence in the international media, but many of us associate sort of Al-Shabaab as being Africa's foremost terrorist group, but that's not necessarily correct, is it? Exactly,
and that's the point you have to make, is that Boko Haram is not getting, in their eyes, the respect they should get, because, look, year to date, they've killed 2,000 people in Nigeria. It's the most murderous group, but you hear more about Al-Shabaab and about Al-Qaeda in Islamic Maghreb. The reason being, Al-Shabaab came on the forefront because of Westgate. Yes. I would put to you that if it weren't for the kidnapping of the girls, Nigeria would not be in the news, and Boko Haram would still be one of the least well-known groups in Africa. I mean, Nigeria has a lot of oil wealth, it has a history of civil war, but is there a potential that Boko Haram could destabilise the country? Oh, very much so. I mean, you could put the point that Nigeria could become a failed state within 2 or 3 years if they're not ready to clamp down and get the insurgency going. And if that were to happen, what does that mean for the international community? Do you think we could see it spreading into other Nigerian, African states, or do you think that there's a risk to all of us, to our national security? All of us, and I think now the West is realizing that Nigeria is crucial. I mean, it's the largest country in Africa, and America, Britain and France have to be very strong and take this matter very seriously from now on. Okay, Olivier Guitta from the Henry Jackson Society, really good to talk to you. Thanks very much. Thank you for having me on.
Now, Manchester City fans will get another chance to celebrate their Premier League title this evening with a